We don't just talk about winning on the field, we talk about winning in life. Today's episode, athlete to architect. Too many athletes are playing small in a space that was built for you to think bigger.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
You gotta think bigger. It's telling me you are now live. What up, family? Welcome to another Gridiron Gains, a show for an athlete by an athlete. I'm your host, Tony the Tycoon, former NFL lineman turned wealth builder, speaker and brand strategist. And this is Gridiron Gains, where we don't just talk about winning on the field, we talk about winning in life, business, and legacy. Today's episode is from athlete to architect. We're going to define your NIL legacy because right now, too many athletes are playing small in a space that was built for you to think bigger. We got to think bigger. Look, you've been given NIL, name, image, and likeness, not just to grab some quick cash, but to position yourself for the long game. Make no mistake, NIL is not your finish line. It's your foundation. Think about it. In just a few years, the NIL market has exploded into a multi-billion-dollar stage. Just last season alone, roughly 1.67 billion in NIL deals were done. That's how big the spotlight is now. And right now, they're talking about it elevating to 2 billion by the time football season starts. But are you going to let that moment define you, or do you turn it into a movement that lasts long after the crowd goes home? What I need us to think about is this. Your name is not just your name. It's not just a tag. It's a tool. You see, when the NIL era hit, a lot of athletes thought they were, made people, right? We made it. Here comes the big money. They saw the hype. They saw the videos. You get your free hoodies, your endorsements, your check, few Instagram shout outs, right? And it felt like, hey, we up, man. We're winning. But here's what most people don't realize. NIL didn't just give you a brand. It gave you a license. What type of license? Well, I'm glad you asked. A license to build and a license to own. See, now you guys are the real asset. You're the brand. You are the architect of your own empire. But if you're just collecting checks and not building something meaningful, you're hustling backwards, guys. I want y'all to think about these stats. The NCAA's NIL data shows this, that over half of the NIL deals are worth $100 or less. Half. With the median deal only being about $62. That means that most of what people call NIL deals are literally pocket change. Especially if you're talking about a professional career. Meanwhile, the entire marketplace is huge. Like we talked about, at 1.67 going up to 2 billion and NIL spilling just last year. So where is that money really going is the question. To a few stars while everyone else is getting crumbs. So I need you to ask yourself, and you got to be truthful. What do you want your name to mean when the lights are off and the crowds are gone? What message will you carry? What image will you carry? And what will carry you long after that last snap or race? What legacy will your likeness leave for those coming after you? Guys, you weren't given NIL to just stay in that moment. You were given NIL to build a movement. This is about equity, not popularity. Ownership, not just opportunity. If you treat NIL like an achievement checkmark instead of a launching pad, that's what it is. It's a launching pad. And if you don't treat it like that, you're going to look up and wonder why you never got further. Because look, even though the NIL market is measured in billions, most athletes aren't seeing millions. In fact, the NCAA reported that the average student athlete is earning somewhere around $21,000 from the deal for the entire year. That's roughly like $10 an hour for their life. The median athlete made only $480 total. That's it. These numbers are telling us something. Data is telling us a story. The big money deals are outliers. If you base your future on those hype stats, guys, you're chasing ghosts. So don't fall for the illusion that NIL is here and this is what we're doing and NIL alone is the destination. It's a powerful tool, but It's what you do with that tool that creates something that endures. So there's something that I like to talk about, and I talk about this in business, but it's true for you guys. It's about clarity over confusion. Here's where a lot of athletes drop the ball, in my opinion. They don't know what they're building. Okay, so you've got followers, you got a few brand deals, maybe even got a slick logo, but no real foundation. And you can't scale confusion. You see, without clarity, you're going to be like a running back doing drills with no end zones in sight. Just lots of effort, no score, right? Confusion will have you spinning in circles. You'll be changing niches, chasing every new trend, rebranding every other month. That's not strategy, guys. And quite frankly, that's business survival mode. And guess what? Survival is never enough. You came here to thrive, not just to survive. So let's cut through the noise. What we need is clarity. We need crystal clarity on who you are, who you serve, and what you stand for. I need you to ask yourself 4 questions that could potentially change your trajectory on what you're wanting to build. Question number 1, who am I called to serve? Not just who follows you, but who are you meant to impact? You see, coaches speak to teams like stars that serve communities. They identify their people. You have to identify yours. Question number 2, what problem do I solve? Real businesses solve real problems. Are you offering motivation, mentorship, personal training tips? Are you overcoming adversity? Are there some sort of life skills? You have to find the gap between the people's needs and what you can provide. Question number 3 is, what do I want to be known for beyond sports? An athlete or a leader? A coach or a mentor? Or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Your game might end, but your influence that you build can keep growing. Question number 4, what is my story and how can it help others? Guys, your journey from where you started to where you are is priceless content. Does it inspire someone? Can it teach someone? Can it shift somebody's mindset? I want you to imagine, say you're a gymnast who battled career-ending injuries. That comeback story isn't just yours. It's someone else's survival guide. Inside that story is a business waiting to happen, a recovery mentorship program, an online course, or something about mental toughness. Speaking in high schools, all over the country in high schools. You can go as far as you want, but once you get crystal clear on your purpose, your people, and your path, the noise goes away. The confusion falls to the floor and your message gets L-O-U-D, loud. You won't chase every new gimmick because you're too busy leading something that's real. And in order for us to get to that point, we got to talk about systems over hustle. So let's shift gears a little bit. You've got clarity now. You know who you are and you know why you're doing what you're doing. And you also know who needs it. But now we got to talk about structure. Because if your hustle isn't systemized, guys, your growth will always hit a wall. Athletes know how to grind. That's easy. Early morning, 2-a-days, film sessions, right? You've got discipline in your DNA. But when it comes to NIL and business, most athletes are just out here winging it. They react. They don't plan. They hustle, but for the small wins. And I'm going to share with you guys a hard truth. I learned the expensive way is if you can't replicate it. And if you can't replicate it, you can't grow it. I want you to think about this. Businesses don't scale by doing everything themselves. They build systems. So you should too. A few key systems will do all the heavy lifting for you so you can focus on what matters. So I'll give you an example. How about a lead magnet or a complimentary offer, something of value that you can give away, like an ebook, a workout guide, or even a webinar, right? Something that brings people to you. You collect emails or contacts from fans interested in what you have going on, not just everyone scrolling past, right? You can have an autopilot booking system. So this way, if you want sessions and calls lined up without having to text back and forth so much, you can use scheduling tools that book fans or clients into your calendar automatically. Well, I talked about Calendly, check that out. You can do email and DM automations, follow-ups. Those things are gold. And if someone signs up for your list to reply from your DMs, then smart automation can send them content and offers while you're sleeping or while you're training or in class. So here's a clear path from a follower to a family member. Every person in your audience should know that the next step starts with them downloading your complimentary guide. Then they're invited to your online community that you're creating. And eventually, they're buying your premium program or coaching. You have to map it out and automate it as much as you can. Here's why this is a game changer. Because hustle might get you attention once, but systems get you freedom. You protect your time, you multiply your impact, you stop being a slave to your phone and start leveraging it. This thing can make you a lot of money if you do it right. So I need you to look at it this way. Would a championship team rely on luck every game? Absolutely not. You know they run plays. They have a playbook. Your brand needs a playbook too. When every part of your business has a process, suddenly you're not just grinding, you're growing. You can spend mornings training and evenings with the family knowing that your business isn't falling apart and you're just not out there grinding. You're building a reputable business. See, real legacy isn't built by those who burn out. It's built by those who protect their time, scale their value, and serve with structure. Be the athlete coach, not just the athlete cannonball. Here's what I want to talk to you guys about here too. How do we turn purpose into profit? Well, let's talk about it. What really moves the needle? That's the profit with the purpose. See, most athletes think money from NIL is limited to, things like brand deals, you have appearances, sponsored content, right? Those are just one slice of the pie. But what if I told you there's a whole bakery left to explore? What if your NIL strategy wasn't just about making money, but it was about multiplying impact? What if, walk with me, your story became not just content, but currency for change? Let's break this down. I know a lot of you guys know about Caitlin Clark, and she was a phenomenon, and she still is, but especially while she was in college, right? Caitlin Clark and some other stars, they were making millions. And I know people were like, man, I need that. I want that. I mean, heck, Caitlin's evaluation was around 3.8 million per year the last season she played in the collegiate space. And that's amazing. And the headlines act like Shedeur Sanders is talking about the $6 million deals and all of those things. That's great, but make no mistake about it, those are the exceptions. The average college player isn't seeing six-figure deals. And an NCAA analysis found that the average student is only getting $21,000, which we talked about before. Why? Because fewer than 1% of the athletes will get a headline deal. We got to understand the numbers. What's the upside for the rest? That's the question. You have to go out and get it and create it. You have to invent your own NIL products and services and solve problems. The market needs to be solved. For example, let's say you're a college quarterback. Let's say you grew up in a tough neighborhood and you had to earn everything that you got. That grit, that story, that's pure gold. Here's how you could package that. You could put it into a leadership workshop for young men. You could create an online course, overcoming adversity and staying motivated in sports or school or life. You could launch a small group mentorship program for underprivileged kids. You could license your content. These are all of the different types of things that you could do. And with that licensed content, you could give that to prep schools or youth camps. Suddenly, it's not just jerseys and Snapchat shout outs, it's transformation. You become the guy who took his hardships and used them to create solutions for others. So I need you guys to remember this truth. Purpose creates meaning. Why you do it, what light you give. Systems create money. Scalable funnels and products that keep money flowing. Clarity multiplies both. When you combine a clear message with purpose-driven profit systems, you multiply impact and elevate income. And when you operate with purpose, profit becomes an outcome, not an accident. Your course can change lives. Your coaching can inspire thousands. Your brand can outlast your jersey number. And yes, when you do that, money does follow. Because people will always pay for value, especially the value that changes the trajectory of their life. You see, your legacy is built on purpose. And that will be worth far more than any one-time endorsement deal. So look, y'all know how I do, man. There has to be a legacy call to action here. And now I know some of you are feeling like, man, I'm tired of just being known for one thing. You might be ready to move with intention. You don't want NIL to be a highlight. You want it to be the foundation of your future. So here's the next best play. I need you guys to go to statybooks.com/legacy. I'm gonna have my guys forward it on the video, right? They'll put it up there at the top. You guys will see it. And I'm gonna drop it in the description. But I need you to go there and download your Legacy Starter Kit, the Athlete Legacy Wealth Playbook. This is your playbook to get clear, to get structured, and to start building right now. Inside there, you're going to find different things that speak to purposes and create your own systems and begin laying the bricks of your brand empire today. Also, I need you guys to join the Stat Legacy League. I'm so excited about this. This is the new Facebook group that we started. This is not for theorists now. It's for action takers. We train athletes to become entrepreneurs and leaders with real strategies like the one we talked about in this video, with real results and a real community of like-minded players. Plus, you know your man's gonna drop some tips that I don't say and share anywhere else. And then lastly, I need you guys to book your stat strategy session, especially with our team, guys, because in this session, we'll map out your brand, your message, and your money-making system together. You'll walk away with a concrete plan to implement immediately. This is no fluff. It's just strategy. Don't wait until your career ends to start building. Don't let your NIL moment fade into the forgotten post and expired jerseys. You've been handed a golden license, but it's still up to you to turn it into something your kids can inherit, something that speaks when you're no longer on the mic. I want you guys to think about this. Think about it. Will you be just another athlete who rode the wave of hype? Or will you be the architect of your own legacy, the one who laid down a foundation, not just for today, but for generations? Y'all know what it is, man. This is Gridiron Gains, and you are the architect of your NIL legacy. So let's build together. Run well, young lions and lionesses. Tony the Tycoon. I'm out.